Hey, what's up, guys? Solo upload today, just me. I'm going to be going over a mock trade I tweeted out from Bleacher Report. Justin actually sent me the mock trade article the Bleacher Report posted. Kind of went semi-viral, and I'm going to go through some of my favorite and some of my least favorite responses that we got from the tweet. Got a lot of engagement, so we really appreciate that. If you don't follow us over on Twitter, that is at Paul's Cleveland over on Twitter. I run the Twitter, so if you get any interaction from our Twitter account, it is going to be me. Before we get into this one, guys, make sure you go into the link in our description. You will see a link to BetUS, America's favorite gambling website. Sign up through that link. Use the promo code JOIN125. That's JOIN125, and make a deposit and start wagering. You know, it passed the Senate in Ohio, so make sure that once it's fully implemented in the state law, that you'll be ready to go as far as sports gambling in the state of Ohio. So that's JOIN125 on the link below. Make sure that you go make some wagers. Some of the easiest wagers, last season were the Cavs over in win total. So go check out some future bets. Go check out some NBA playoffs, whether it's the NBA Finals or the Conference Finals, and let's get into this one. Popped over to Twitter, as you could see, at Paul's Cleveland on Twitter. Throw us a follow over there. I believe we just passed 1,700 followers, and we appreciate all the love and input on stuff like this. So this is our pinned tweet. The article from Bleacher Report suggested a trade for the Cavs receiving Bradley Beal and the Wizards receiving Colin Sexton, Lauri Markkanen, and pick number 14 in the first round of the 2022 NBA Draft. So since it's a solo video, I'm just going to be going through my opinions. I don't speak for Logan. I don't speak for Justin as far as Cavs basketball with Logan involved, and as far as, Browns football, I don't speak for Justin either. So let's go through and look at some of the responses. A lot of quote tweets and a lot of responses. So let's see what we have. So let's start with this one here from Dog Pound Sound. This was a sentiment that I heard a lot in the responses and the replies of this tweet. Trade all of that for a piece of glass. So this is actually some sort of misconception. I don't know if it's nationally media driven or I don't know what it is, but Bradley Beal was injured this previous season. He only played 40 games, but that is the least amount of games he's played in one season in his career. I believe he's played close to 80% of his career games. I think the number is like 79.7%. He's had a couple seasons where he's played all 82 games. So I understand he was hurt. I get it's recency bias, but with Colin Sexton being part of the trade, coming off a knee injury, I think that there's an interesting dynamic there. And Bradley Beal he has nagging injuries. He doesn't have these major injuries, so I get where people are coming from that, but it's really kind of half true, half not true. Here we go with another one from at 6Bedroom Gangsta, and he says, undersized wash guard who doesn't play defense on a probably max contract. And as you can see, I responded, if he gives you 30 a night, how much defense would we really need him to play? And I think this is kind of the main talking point if you want to rebut this, that Bradley Beal doesn't play a lot of defense. Well, if you look up the last full season from both Sexton and Beal, Beal has a better defensive rating. I know a lot of people don't like using the defensive rating stat. I don't love it either, but that's what StatMuse gives, and that's what I'm going with because he's not a great defender, but I don't think we would say Sexton is an elite defender as a guard. I think Lauri is a pretty good defender. I think he was decent this year as far as being a 7-footer. So if you have contention with maybe the trade being too much, if you don't want to move on from Lauri, if you don't want to move on from Sexton, if you want to draft in this year's draft, I get all those talking points, but you have to understand that this offense was in desperate need of scoring when it came down the stretch. Obviously, there was injuries, but still, if Garland wasn't hitting, there really wasn't a walking bucket on this squad when we needed it. So I think the 30 points a game that Bradley Beal could provide would be interesting. Here we go with another take, a response from at Greg Knopp on Twitter. And he says, as someone who's lived and followed sports teams in Metro DC for the past 30 years, I think Bradley Beal is vastly overrated and has never been able to carry a team. I would not make this trade. Cavs should stay with the youth movement for at least another year. This has 19 likes. Justin and I have said from the outset, once we started Cleveland Pulse, that As far as other fans in different markets, we tend to kind of take their word. We haven't in the past, and I would say most times fans that are true fans of their teams know their team and know their market. So when we traded for LeVert, we did a live stream literally right when the news broke. There was a Pacers fan in the chat saying he wasn't as big of a contributor as we were making him out to be. Now, we kind of downplayed it, but as far as what we got from LeVert the second half of the season, that guy was right, for the most part. He didn't get us over the top, didn't even get us into a playoff series. So we appreciate when other people reach out to us as far as different sports teams, and we tend to kind of take their word. And into our next one, we have at WStroker15, Willie Stroker says, Garland, Beal, LeVert, Mobley, Allen with Okoro off the bench. Sign me up, please. And I responded, looks really nice on paper. What's interesting about this is that I think if Bradley Beal would be traded to the Cavs, he would have the potential to be the best player, the first overall option, but he wouldn't have to be. I still think you have Garland, of course, and you have LeVert with this mock trade, and Mobley's scoring could come along through the season as well. So I think if you can swap out Okoro having to start and have him come off the bench, be your energy guy, have Beal start as the 2, have Beal get all the looks that Okoro got last year to a certain extent, because a lot of teams did give Okoro a lot of wide open looks. I think that would be interesting. I think that starting 5, everybody healthy, is in contention in the Eastern Conference for the regular season pretty easily. And for the last one here of this video, guys, this is from at Craig Free, and he says Bradley would need to have the best year of his career for me to feel good about this trade, so no. This was another one of the misconceptions that I think I saw while responding and reading the responses to this tweet, because it's not like Bradley Beal has been terrible for years. People are saying he's washed. He didn't have a great, 2021, 2022 season, but as you can see with my response, 31.3 points per game like his 2020-2021 season would be cool with me. I feel like a lot of people responded to this. They really didn't do a lot of background research into Bradley Beal, into his stats, into his game. And not this previous year, but 2 seasons ago, he was second in points per game average in the NBA. He almost won a scoring title. Steph Curry was the only player that averaged more points per game than him, and I think it was like 32 Steph had. So he was in contention for a scoring title, and yeah, I don't think a lot of people know that. But with that being said, there's actually interesting developments that came out today, the day I'm recording this, May 24th. I tweeted this out on May 18th. So let's get into that development. This is a report from Legion Hoops. Bradley Beal is leaning towards signing a $250 million multi-year deal with the Wizards this summer, which is kind of the fun part about all this. It was always kind of rumored that Bradley was going to stay with the Washington Wizards, and that's kind of where he maybe wants to finish his career, definitely sign his next big contract with, staying with the Wizards, who he's played basketball for a decent amount of time. So it was kind of fun putting out this Bleacher Report mock trade because there really wasn't a whole lot of merit to it. That's kind of how Bleacher Report operates. They really kind of do it for clicks, and they do it, for interesting takes. And I just tweeted it out. Justin sent it to me. I put it up there, and people kind of went crazy on it. So I appreciate all the responses. I appreciate you guys watching this video, and let me know in the comments, would you want Bradley Beal on this team, or would you want somebody else perhaps in the NBA for the Cavs to trade for, or should we keep rocking with what we have and draft somebody at 14? We're going to be talking about that in upcoming uploads, so make sure you hit the bell notification and hit that like button so we get into the YouTube algorithm. Let's get the Cleveland Pulse word out there. We're almost at 600 subscribers, and we will see you guys in the next upload. Peace.